A lot of material to cover this week, mainly concentrating on pollution, various types of pollution, including radiation. There's a lot of confusion out there. The public, in many cases, does not understand many of these issues, and with a lot of what you might call apologetic announcing in the major news media, one is left really confused. What's the truth? For example, the radiation coming from Japan. What's the real story there? Did I mention this is March 31st, 2011? I think last week I forgot to mention the date, so have to make sure I say it this week and definitely get that in there. The situation with radiation and pollution, it's just phenomenal what the government and other agencies try and pawn off on the public. And of course, they always have top scientists there at their beck and call to give you their support, assuring you, for example, in the radiation coming from Japan, that there's no harm at all, that low levels of radiation are not harmful, they're within so many thousand times below government standards, whatever they might quote. But if you're the unlucky one to, say, have a baby that's in development, or a very young, let's say a fetus that's in development, if that is the unlucky one to get the bit of radiation, then all the statistics in the world don't make any difference, because for example, let's take an example. Say a woman goes in for an X-ray on a foot. Let's say a foot X-ray or a hand X-ray. Woman hurts her finger. One of the first things they will ask the woman is, "Are you pregnant?" And even though they would cover this woman with lead shielding, big lead capes, etc., the understanding in the radiation community is that and so this is especially for early pregnancies, maybe within the first week or two, or certainly within the first month, that a errant X-ray or piece of radiation, in that case it's an X-ray, could cause genetic defects. Now, when you're talking about statistics, the government loves to use statistics and tell you that, oh, this radiation level from Japan is so many thousand times below such and such a level, and that radiation in your milk is just not a big problem. Well, who drinks milk? Pregnant mothers, babies. The most susceptible people on the planet drink milk because it's in that category. A lot of adults don't drink milk. So the point is that adults have billions of cells in their body, so if you get one zapped, well, it's not a big deal. But if you're a newborn or newly created embryonic cell, and you take an X-ray or a high-energy particle off a decaying radioactive matter that's fallen in dust that came from Japan, then all the statistics in the world don't make any difference, because you have been affected directly. So you understand how statistics work and how they can be used to lie and cover up the safety. The same is used for levels of exposure to chemicals. For a long time, women were promoted to use chemicals in the household, and they were safe and all of this. Well, after a while, it became apparent that a lot of women were getting cancer, and so you look at the rise in cancer relative to the time when all of these chemicals came into use in the household, and of course, the situation is that these chemicals are absorbed through the skin. If you're exposed to it once, well, probably not a big deal, but if you're using it every day, say you're a woman that cleans houses for a living, you're exposed to these chemicals, you breathe them in. There's a little experiment that people do many times, and you could do it in nursing class or other types of classes, health classes. Take a piece of garlic, just a piece of garlic from the refrigerator, a little chunk of garlic, and cut it so that there's raw garlic. Rub it on the base of your foot, and then smell the top of the person's head. And in about, less than 30 seconds, you can already detect the smell of the garlic coming out the top of the person's head. In other words, the garlic had to get into the bloodstream, migrate all the way through the body up to the head, and then come out the skin of the person so that you could smell it. That's how fast. The skin on your body is the biggest organ on your body, and it's the most porous. You can take moisture in, and it will take chemicals in. So that's one of the reasons why people use rubber gloves, for example. Some people are even allergic to the latex in rubber gloves. The human body is fairly resilient, but when it comes to organic chemicals, solvents, these are the things solvents are the chemicals that can break down other chemicals, put them into solution. That's why they're used in chemistry. They can grab something, a solid, and bring it into solution. They can also destroy oils. They can get into your body and take the oils that are essential for transmission of electrical signals, the oils that are essential for lubricating your joints, the oils that are essential for your muscles, for all kinds of other purposes in your body. You have all kinds of fluids and oils and in your body. So solvents can take those and leach them away and replace them with the solvent. The solvents also can cause cancer in probably a high percentage of the cases. So the point is that although these products, so-called safe for human use, are with us, and a lot of them have fumes. You breathe them in. There's no better way in the world to get something into your body than through your lungs. It's the organ that has blood vessels immediately under those little air sacs, and every bit of vapor, air, whatever that comes into your lungs gets drawn immediately into your blood system. So if you're in a bathroom with solvents, you're cleaning your bathroom with those spray and nice smelling, clean smelling so-called solvent based cleaners that help you clean your bathroom, clean the scum and the stuff off. Those are all solvents. They work because they have chemicals in them and of course there are some green products on the market, but the traditional chemical-based cleansers that you buy in the store have harsh chemicals in them. If you breathe them in, they go right into your lungs and right into your blood system. So anyway, there are other chemicals that the government wants to put in your life. Let's put it that way. Let's talk about fluoride in drinking water. Now, this brings up this just came in within the last day. There's a story about, let's see, where is this? This is in Illinois. Now, the article came from, I want to give reference here because of the fine work that this group does. Naturalnews.com is the source of the story. There was a fluoride spill at a water facility in Illinois. Let me see if I can catch Rock Island, Illinois. And I think that's up north in Illinois, but I'm not sure. But Rock Island is a famous place. A railroad was named after it, or it was named after the railroad. I'm not sure. Johnny Cash had a song, the Rock Island Line. Well, anyway, Rock Island, Illinois had a fluoride spill. Now, if you look at any water processing plant, it's called hydrofluorosilicic acid. In other words, it's a chemical that the cities, sometimes by law, by edict, or by passing laws or adopting laws and standards, put this into your drinking water. So I want to let you know what happened at this water treatment plant in Rock Island, Illinois. This, as I said, just came in yesterday. The chemical spill was of the chemical that the city puts into the water to treat, And the reference, now there were crews that had to be sent, and they looked like the same kind of gear that the radiation hazard cleanup specialists were wearing at the radiation sites in Japan. The comment in this article states that the fire chief of this local facility that aided in the cleanup of this agent, of the fluoride, says it's a corrosive agent that the water treatment plant uses. He explained that the crews had to use earthen burns, dirt, sand, and commercial broom equipment to stop the leak. They said that there was no inhalation hazard, and nobody was required to evacuate. But the point of this article was that the fluoride leak, the liquid that came out of this tank, accidentally fell on the cement outside of this water treatment plant and burned a hole through the cement in the parking lot where the spill occurred. So they had to clean this up, and now they're telling you that this corrosive liquid they're putting in your drinking water, and it's okay for you to drink. And I always thought this was odd in listening to the logic that the cities would use, and they would say, well, if you don't want it, you can always get a filter that removes the fluoride. And I thought to myself, well, if there are people out there who want this, you can buy pills and you can take a pill of fluoride. They're little purple pills. And you can actually take fluoride. They've convinced people sometimes that live on well systems that they should take fluoride because it helps their teeth. And I never quite imagined how taking a pill internally is helping your teeth. But at any rate, that's the story that the dental community wants to put. It's in probably almost all toothpastes. But the point is that at this treatment facility in Illinois yesterday, a spill of this liquid, the fluoride that they put in your drinking water, burned a hole through the cement in the parking lot. So, do you really want that in your water? But the point is that the cities take it on their responsibility that this is good for you. They're just protecting you. They're looking out for your own good. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the radiation from Japan, and this just is also just in, I was searching, I usually do a search of the news media right before the show, and CNN is one of my favorite targets. I call it the Candy Nugget News. They're talking about the fact that there is no health risk, or they state there's no health risk, from radiation found in milk. And it's found in milk in quite a few states right now. And they state that a person would have to drink 1,000 liters of milk to receive the same amount of radiation as a chest x-ray. A radiation oncologist from Houston's MD Anderson Cancer Center has told us. But they're talking about a particular isotope, iodine-131, and that's a short-lived, it has a short life of, they say, a half-life of about 8 days. So I want to explain a little bit about this type of radiation, and remember that the radiation leaking from Japan stems from bomb-grade plutonium. So right now, my guess is that the government is not telling us the whole story. Also, the other thing I want to stress and emphasize before going into any of these articles or giving any descriptions is that radiation is cumulative. It builds up over time. They're talking about a short half-life isotope here, and a half-life means that if you have 100 atoms of this particular radioactive molecule or